What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. In this video, we're going to test if changing different suppressors on your firearms will change the point of impact. So what I have here are two suppressors. I have a Silencer Co. Omega 300, and this is a 30 caliber suppressor, and it's 6 inches long. And then here I have a Silencer Co. Hybrid 46, and this is an interesting suppressor. This one is a pistol and rifle suppressor. It can go from 9mm all the way up to 338 Lapua and 4570. So these suppressors are actually the same exact diameter and basically identical, except the Hybrid 46 is just 1.5 inches longer, and it's bored out for larger bullets so it can handle 4570, versus the Omega 300, which is this one right here, is bored out for 308 caliber and no larger, and this one is bored out for 458 caliber. And you can see that the diameters are exactly the same. The Hybrid 46 is just about 1.5 inches longer. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my Omega 300 on my AR-10. I'm gonna take a couple of shots at 100 yards. We're gonna see what the point of impact is. Then we're gonna take the Omega 300 off, and I'm gonna put the Hybrid 46 on, take a couple shots at 100 yards, and compare the point of impacts. I'm gonna be using just some regular M80 ball ammunition. This is just some Norma M80 ball, and we're also going to be using my 300 Win Mag. So this is my Ruger M77 Hawkeye Alaskan chambered in 300 Win Mag, and I'm going to shoot some Federal Power Shocks and some Choice Ammunition 175 grain Barnes LRX. And we're going to take some shots with the Omega 300 and some shots with the Hybrid 46 at 100 yards. And we're going to see if there's any difference at all. So this is going to be a really cool test. Let's see what happens here, guys. All right, guys. Silencer Co. Omega 300 AR-10 M80 ball. Let's see the point of impact at 100 yards. All right, guys, so I put the Hybrid 46 on. Going to take a couple of shots with the Norma M80 ball at 100 yards. And here's the Omega 300. It's just sitting there cooling off right now. So let's see what happens here, guys. All right, guys, so here's my target for the AR-10 with the Norma M80 ball. So here were my shots with the Omega 300, and this is actually what I'm zeroed at. I'm zeroed at about 2.5 inches high at 100 yards. My point of aim was right here, right at the intersection of these lines there. So about 2.5 inches high at 100 yards with the Omega 300. And obviously it's not perfect. I was kind of rushing it. But what's really surprising are the 3 shots here with the Hybrid 46. As you see, it's a huge difference, okay? I'm zeroed at 2.5 inches high with the Omega 300, and with the Hybrid 46, low and left by about an inch, all right? About an inch low and about an inch to an inch and a half to the left, okay? So 1 MOA low and 1.5 MOA to the left versus the Omega 300, 2.5 MOA high. So this is why you got to go to the range and test out your equipment, because every suppressor is going to behave differently. And also different types of ammo will have a different point of impact with your suppressors, okay? So alright guys, so now I'm going to use some choice ammunition, 175 grain LRX, got the Hybrid 46, Ruger Alaskan 300 Win Mag. Let's see what kind of point of impact we get. Now it's really important when you're doing this type of testing to let the barrel and the suppressor cool completely down until it's cool to the touch. Oftentimes the barrel will cool before the suppressor. I like to wait until both the suppressor and the barrel are completely cool to the touch. So this way we get the most accurate results, because when a barrel and a suppressor are hot or even warm, it'll change the groupings and even the point of impact. So let's see what happens here, guys. Alright guys, one more with the LRX. Alright guys, so here were my hits with the 300 Win Mag and the Hybrid 46. And you can see that the point of impact was about 1.5 inches or so to the left. Now these two right here were the Federal Power Shocks, and then these three right here, 1, 2, 3, were the LRX. And you can see the LRX is about 4 inches high and about 1.5 inches to the left. And you can see that the Federal Power Shock is 2 inches high and about 1 inch to 1.5 inches to the left. So basically with the Hybrid 46, my elevation is exactly the same as with the Omega 300, but the windage is to the left about 1 to 1.5 MOA. And I didn't actually shoot with the Omega 300 today because I wanted to conserve ammo. But I know what my point of impact is with the Federal Power Shocks and the Choice Ammunition LRX with the Omega 300 on. And basically the elevation is exactly the same, but the windage is to the right about 1.5 inches. Okay, so the Federal Power Shock with the Omega 300, I have it set up as 2 inches high at 100 yards, and the windage is dead on. But with the Hybrid 46, you can see the POI was to the left about 1 to 1.5 MOA, and with the Choice LRX with the Omega 300, it's also about 4 inches high, but the windage is dead on at 100 yards. But you can see that with the Hybrid 46, the point of impact was also to the left about 1.5 MOA. Okay, so basically changing your suppressor from one type of suppressor to another will change the point of impact, just like shooting a rifle with a suppressor or without a suppressor will have a different point of impact. So what you need to do is you need to shoot all your ammo with your different suppressors and see how the point of impact changes. And you also need to do the same thing with your suppressor off and the suppressor on and see how the point of impact changes. And you need to just write it down somewhere. See here, I'm going to save this target, and I'm going to use this target for future reference, but I know that my elevation is the same, but my windage is to the left about 1.5 MOA. So all I have to do is, if I do want to shoot with my Hybrid 46 instead of my Omega 300, I just have to adjust for the point of impact. Okay, I know that when I use the Hybrid 46, the bullets are going to impact about 1.5 inches to the left. So I just have to adjust for that. That's just 1.5 MOA to the right. I have to just turn my windage knob 1.5 MOA to the right when I use my Hybrid 46, and I'm good to go. And when I go back to my Omega 300, I just dial back 1.5 MOA, or back to 0 basically. So that's what you need to do, guys. You need to shoot all the ammo you plan to use, and you need to test it out, see what the point of impact is with different suppressors that you have that you plan to use, and write down what the shift is, what the POI shift is, so this way you can adjust for it when you change your cans. And same thing when you shoot your rifle without your can, you also need to do the same thing. Any kind of muzzle device will affect point of impact, whether it's a muzzle brake, whether it's a flash hider, whether it's a suppressor, different types of suppressors, different types of flash hiders, different types of muzzle brakes. You always have to shoot your ammo after you change anything with your muzzle device. Even just the way that your flash hider or your muzzle brake are oriented can make a difference in the POI, just like the different types of suppressors can change the POI. So to answer the question, will changing your suppressor change the point of impact? Yes, you can see clearly that it will change the point of impact, okay? So that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to see my other suppressor videos, check out my suppressors playlist. I'll leave a link in the top right corner of this video. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.